Welcome to Flashback Files, the podcast where career and leadership lessons from the past guide your journey forward. I'm Josh Green, and here we'll explore both my own experiences and the stories of others, unpacking wins, doubts, pivots, and the moments of clarity that shape us as leaders. You don't need to have it all figured out. Leadership often shows up in unexpected places, at work, at home, and in the choices we make every day. By reflecting on aspirations, mistakes, and breakthroughs, we can discover how the decisions of today build the leaders we become tomorrow. Each episode blends conversations and personal reflections, all with one purpose: to help you lead yourself first so you can lead with others with confidence, purpose, and integrity. Whether you're just starting out, making a career shift, or simply seeking more clarity in how you show up in life, this podcast is for you. Because you don't need every answer. You just need to start asking the right questions. Hey everyone, welcome to Flashback Files. I'm Josh Green, and before we get into leadership, career talk, or self-development, I want to take you back to where it all started for me. This series is about figuring out who we were before we became who we are. I'm sharing the moments that shaped the way I think, act, and lead, not as a manager first, but as a person. Today, I'm covering ages 6 to 12. The messy, awkward, funny, and sometimes hard chapter that quietly built my foundation for everything that came next. So a little bit about me. I grew up in a small city in Ontario. I'd say medium size. My background's a mix of Jamaican on my dad's side, British and Irish on my mom's. So right away, I lived in two worlds. Being mixed race wasn't always easy. Kids would ask me questions like, why is your dad black and your mom white? Stuff that sounds small, but sticks when you're 7. It made me aware of difference before I even knew what identity even meant. And then there was a birth order. I was the middle child. My older brother was the golden child. My younger brothers were the babies. Me, I was somewhere in between trying to be seen. If you ever felt like that, not the oldest, not the youngest, just there, you get it. It's weirdly motivating. It made me crave validation, which later showed up big time in my life as a manager trying to please everyone. I didn't know it then, but those dynamics were already shaping my leadership style. From my family perspective, my dad was around, but not always present. I remember overhearing a phone call when I was about 8, the kind that changes the way you look at your parents. I knew something was off, but I stayed quiet because I didn't want to break the family apart. That was my first big lesson in holding things in, putting on a face outside the home while something different was happening inside. At the time, I thought that was strength, but looking back, I realized it taught me the kind of control, the wrong kind of control, suppressing instead of expressing. It took me years to unlearn that. Now, when I lead a team, I try to do the opposite, speak truth, even when it's awkward, because silence doesn't fix things. It just makes the weight heavier. My mom worked shifts at a steel plant, and there were nights when my dad would go out late, not coming home until morning. So I'd be up trying to keep my younger brothers calm, pretending I wasn't scared, although I was. That's not something most 11-year-olds sign up for, but it taught me something real. You can be afraid and still do what needs to be done. That became my quiet definition of courage, not absence of fear, but the movement through it. Later, the courage helped me step into leadership roles, even when I felt underqualified. Yeah, fear doesn't disappear. I can attest to that. You just learn to act while it's sitting right beside you. So switching gears, because it wasn't all heavy, when I was 9, I begged my parents to play soccer. It took years of asking. But when they finally said yes, I was all in. I practiced every day in rain and heat, kicking both feet so I could stand out. The first 2 years I tried out for a rec team that I didn't make. The third year I did. That feeling finally of making it was everything. That's where I learned discipline before talent. You don't need to be the best. You just need to keep showing up. And that mindset, that keep grinding when nobody's watching, that's a leadership lesson too. The best leaders aren't always the naturals. They're the ones who kept showing up. Around the same time, I realized that humor got me attention. If I could make people laugh, they'd like me. So I became a class clown, sometimes too much. I even started telling little lies to impress people. Like I'd say I made the rep soccer team even when I hadn't. Looking back, that was me chasing validation. I wanted people to approve me, not necessarily know me. That pattern followed me well into adulthood. As a new manager later in life, I'd avoid conflict and overcompensate just to stay liked. It took maturity to realize leadership isn't a popularity contest. It's about earning respect through honesty. Jealousy showed up a lot back then. Jealous of siblings, jealous of friends who had bigger houses or perfect families. I used to bike across town to hang out with a friend just to escape my own home environment. His place smelled like dinner, not smoke. His parents didn't argue. That jealousy made me feel small, like I wasn't enough. But there's a twist. That feeling became fuel. It's what made me set goals and dream about a different kind of life. If you're under 25 and you ever compare yourself to other people online, it's the same thing. We all curate. What matters is what you build while nobody's watching. Grade 6 hit me hard. My best friend moved away. I switched schools. Suddenly, I was surrounded by kids from wealthier neighborhoods and felt out of place. So I adapted, changed how I acted, cracked more jokes, tried harder to blend in. I fit in, but not as me. That's a trap that a lot of us fall into, shaping ourselves to fit what others prefer. It took me years to realize when you lead or live like that, you're performing, you're not connecting. True confidence doesn't come from fitting in, it comes from being okay standing out. I There was something else I noticed. I always felt more grounded around my female friends. My mom was my main parent emotionally, and that connection shaped how I related to people. One of my closest friends, Sammy, female, became like family to me. That friendship showed me what emotional safety feels like, something I try to build now in teams I lead. Everyone needs at least one person who lets them be real without judgment, and Sammy was that person for me. So what did ages 6 to 12 really teach me? If I put it in leadership terms, it's that leadership starts long before you get a title. It starts when you face fear, but still act. When you realize humor can hide pain. And when you understand that fitting in isn't the same as belonging. All those early experiences, the jealousy, insecurity, humor, and resilience became the emotional toolkit I'd eventually draw from as an adult. Next time, we'll move into the high school years, ages 13 to 17, where everything I thought I knew about confidence got tested. Bit of a spoiler, it's the chapter where I start learning who I really am. I thank you for listening. If this hit home for you, share it with someone who's figuring it out themselves too. Because at the end of the day, leadership isn't about managing others. It's about learning to lead yourself first. Take care.